Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Sports and Spice. I'm your host, Charlie Walker, and I'm partnered up with my dad here, Tom Walker. Dad, do you want to say hi?
Hey,
We decided it would be a good time to come back in the podcast world because the NBA draft is this week, baby. Let's go, Jazz.
go Jazz
Let's go,
Wednesday.
baby. Wednesday. And just to get further notice, we plan on doing a podcast about every week, and our focus is going to be around Utah Jazz. Clearly, we're big Utah Jazz fans, but we're also big BYU Cougar fans. But we're going to focus around BYU basketball as well, because there is just some
Nice,
crazy things happening in the world of BYU basketball right now.
nice.
People are calling it KYU. So
Go
yeah, and further
Cougs.
notice, we'll talk about BYU basketball as well. But today we're going to focus on the Utah Jazz. So, Dad, clearly we know that the draft is here on Wednesday. Are you excited for it?
Let's go. Let's go. Hopefully the Jazz make some good moves.
Hopefully. People are saying it's not one of the best drafts in the world, but it's still the NBA draft, and it gets everyone very excited. I'm super excited for it on Wednesday. But my
Oh
dad
yeah.
and I are gonna pick every other pick like a mock draft. So I'll do one and he'll do two. So the Atlanta Hawks have the first pick in the NBA draft. And if I'm the Atlanta Hawks, I am going to sprint to get my pick. And that is Alex Sarr. Alex Sarr is playing in Australia right now. He's playing in Australia, but he's from France, and he is 7'1". I don't know what they're feeding those people in France, but there are some crazy unicorns out there here in basketball. Because Wembyama is a unicorn, and definitely Alex Sarr is. Alex Sarr reminds me a lot of Joel Embiid, and if you're getting that comparison, you know he's going to be pretty good. My dad and I watched some highlights of him. They came and play. They came and played G League Ignite later. Not later in this year, and he was the best player on the court. It was a time to show how good Buzelis and Ron Holland were, but that's not what people saw. They saw how good Alex Sarr was, and Alex Sarr is 7'1". He can shoot. He can dribble and go between his legs and cross you over, and you're gonna fall over, and he's gonna dunk on your face. That's Alex Sarr. He has really good potential to be a star in the NBA. So that's who I'm taking if I'm the Atlanta Hawks dad. So the second pick,
Oh, with the second pick, baby. Let's
the
go. So Alex Sarr, I take first two. I think there's only two players that could be stars. Two players. People say it's a weak draft. Might be two guys that I think could be stars. Alex Sarr first. I'm taking Stephon Castle second. He
and the
is,
Washington Wizards are selecting with that pick, just to
yeah,
get an
and
idea.
I'm taking him. I got a man. I am hoping way bad he drops. I don't think he's gonna. The Jazz are gonna have to move up to get him. He would be such a good fit for the Jazz. He's 6'6", wants to play point guard. I say go for it. Play him point guard. I mean, if it works, oh my gosh, can you imagine? He's a good distributor. He's so good on defense. Everything is going to be amazing. Right now, not a great shooter. It's scaring a lot of people, a lot of teams. His shot's not great. He's 18. If he can learn to shoot, he's going to be a star. Floor, Josh Hart, ceiling, star. The Jazz are in a position, maybe if the chips fall and he drops a little bit, to move up in the draft from 10 and go higher. I'm taking him. I'm taking him. If I can get him at 4 or 5 or later without giving up too much, the Jazz can't give up draft picks. Next, 2025 and 2026, amazing drafts. You can't give them up. You might have to give up a player. You might have to give up one of the picks this year. Get Castle. He is great. From UConn, they just won the championship. He knows how to play in big games. I think he'd really help the Jazz. That's
I
what I like.
totally, I totally agree with that. The only player that I would trade up if I was Utah Jazz is Stefan Castle.
Oh, yeah.
Um, Two is pretty high on other mock drafts. We just like Stefan Castle a lot. We've watched him a lot, and we think he's going to be really good in the NBA. And he's a really good prospect, and he has potential to be a star like Alex Sarr does. Stefan Castle played at UConn. If you don't know who he is, and he helped UConn win back-to-back championships. He was really the player that did it all for him. He was hustling all over the place. He would rebound the ball. He's one of the best defenders in the class. He is just a really good player.
Oh, yeah.
The only thing he has to work on is a shot. But if he gets that down, he really could be he could be a really good star in the NBA.
Put
Like
your
my
hand in
dad
the
said, his
glove.
floor is Josh Hart. And if your floor is Josh Hart,
He's pretty
you
good.
know that's a good floor, especially if you watch the NBA playoffs this year. Josh Hart was pretty good.
He's pretty
So
good.
that's a good floor to have for sure.
Yeah.
With the third pick, the Houston Rockets will be selecting. If I'm the Houston Rockets here, I am taking Zachary Richachet. I know a lot of people are saying Reed Shepard is a good fit here, but I just don't understand it. Fred Van Vliet's already there. You just picked up Emin Thompson for the draft before that. You don't need another point guard. Go get someone that can be a good wing like Richachet and that can shoot the ball. If you don't know who Richachet is, he's also from France. I still don't understand what they're feeding those people over there. But he's 6'9" and can shoot the ball like none other. My dad
They're
and I
feeding
watched his
him. They're feeding him potato chips.
my dad and I watched his highlights, and literally he just shoots the three and that's all you have to do in the NBA to get a roster spot in today's game is shoot the ball from three, and this guy can shoot it. And if the Rockets need some shooters, and if I'm the Rockets and he's there, take him. Especially because people are saying that he could be a really good player in the NBA. He could be a starter going further. And I think this is just going to be a great pick if he falls to the Rockets. So I'm on the Rockets. Yes, I am taking Zachary Richachet with the third pick. The fourth pick, the San Antonio Spurs are selecting. Dad, who would you take for the
I'm
San Antonio
taking. I'm
Spurs?
taking Klingon, the center from UConn. This guy's huge. He's way tall. 7'1". He might as well be
I got it
10 feet
here. One
tall.
second.
He might be 10 feet tall.
Seven
He
two, actually.
7'2". He can run. He can jump. He cannot score. He can dunk. All right, let's be honest. He can dunk, but he can affect the game in a lot of ways defensively. And you got Wimbyama and you got Klingon on the same team. Klingon kind of sounds a little strange. I'm not sure I'm saying his name quite right. But I'll tell you what, could you imagine some tall timber for the Spurs? And I just think he's probably the fourth best guy on the draft board. And I'm not sure I necessarily go for the fit. I just go for the best player. That's what I would do. I would take him. He's won a championship with UConn. He knows how to win. He affects the game like crazy, mainly on the defensive side, but he gets rebounds and he hustles and he runs. He can set good screens, all of those things. AKA Walker Kessler, when Walker Kessler had a little bit of like vim and vigor in him. Need to see that a little more next year. Walker kind of missing this past year, but it was there when he was a rookie. And I think that's what Klingon got. I'd take him fourth.
Yeah, that's a good pick. Klingon,
Klingon, not Klingon. Klingon.
Klingon is definitely a great prospect. I agree with
Weren't
you. I
the
see.
Klingons from Star Trek? I am a Klingon.
All right, I don't know if they're from Star Trek, but you could be a Klingon. But Klingon, yeah, he's a great prospect, and like we talked about Stefan Castle, he was a big reason that they won the championship this year. They had to
Yukov,
play a
yeah.
forceful center there in the championship named Zach Eady from Purdue, and
He's pretty good.
Klingon had to guard him, and he did the best job that anyone did all year.
Yeah,
Klingon is a great defender, and he made it very difficult for any college basketball team to score this year.
way.
So that is a great pick. And if the Spurs get Klingon, man, their defense is going to be scary.
With Wemby.
With
Holy
Wemby, that is
moly.
a very, very scary.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
you're not going to want to play that team. No one's going to be able to score in the paint.
Oh, yeah.
With the fifth pick, the Detroit Pistons are selecting, and man, I just feel bad for Detroit. They were the worst team last year. They should have got the first pick this year, and they have the worst luck. They have worse luck than the Utah Jazz when it comes to lottery, the NBA lottery. And man, they fell to 5, and I just feel so bad for
That's because they're the Detroit Pistons.
them.
Like, if you think of like a bad luck team since Isaiah Thomas and Lambert when they won championships, it's got to be the Detroit Pistons. They are bad.
Yeah, there's some definitely bad luck to them, and you just feel sorry for them. And really, the only person I've seen everyone taking is Buzelis, and I just can't get past the fact that that's who they're taking. If they choose someone different, I'd be shocked. Buzelis is a player that played for the G League Ignite. If you don't know what the G League Ignite is, it's basically a team in the G League just with very good prospects go into the NBA draft. And Buzelis, he's a pretty good, he's an all right shooter. He really can do everything. Going into the year, he was supposed to be a top 3 pick in the NBA draft. Clearly, he fell because the G League Ignite did not perform as well as expected. He is a 6'9" small forward. So my dad and I watched highlights on him, and we were fairly impressed. He was way more athletic than I thought. Like he was dunking the ball on people, and can create for himself. The only thing that scares me is he's going to end up in Detroit, and that's just what's going to happen. He's going to end up in Detroit, and I'm sorry for you, Bazelas, but it hasn't been good since Chauncey Billups in Detroit since they won their chip. Ever since that, it just has not looked good. And that's where he's going to end up, and I feel sorry for him, but that's just how it's going to end. Um, with the sixth pick, the Charlotte Hornets will be selecting. Who are you taking down with the sixth pick?
Dalton Connect, small forward, Tennessee Volunteers.
Tennessee,
Dalton is 6'6",
6'6".
great shooter, great shooter. Older, 23. Charlotte needs a little maturity on that team. They're young. They need someone that's going to be like, hey, come on, let's grow up a little bit on the court. Dalton can do it. Pretty good defender. More athletic than you think. A little short for a small forward. Still, this point 6, I take him. He's not going to be a star, but he could be a play. He could be a piece. He could be a piece on a really good team. That's who I take.
I like that pick. Dalton Connect was incredible this year for Tennessee. No one really even knew who he was, and he just had an incredible year. Everyone knows who Zach Edey is out of Purdue because the dude is super just tall and just dominates in college basketball. But Dalton Connect was right there with him. The only reason Dalton Connect did not win College Player of the Year in basketball because Zach Edey played the same year as him. But in every other year, Dalton Connect will take that award, the Player of the Year award. He was just so impressive this year. I was super impressed with him when he played Creighton in the March Madness tournament. I thought Creighton was the better team. I thought they were totally going to win. And Dalton Connect, he closed that game, and he just proved he was the best player on the court. And he proves that every time you watch him. He's just a really good player. He's very mature, like you said. I think that could help the Hornets. They definitely need that. They've had trouble in the past with their young players, and they need someone that can get them going. Like, guys, come on, let's get real here. Like, you can't be doing stuff like this. They need someone like that, and that's a good pick.
Hey, Charlie.
The person.
Hey, Charlie. Who is worse over the last 10 years? The Detroit Pistons or the Charlotte Hornets? Who's worse?
I think over the past, at least over the last like 10 years, the Pistons. I know the Hornets have made the playoffs since that with Kemba Walker. I don't think the Pistons have. Maybe I'm wrong. Pistons maybe were the 8th seed one of those years, but yeah, they've just been really bad, both of them. I do think out of both those two teams, I think Charlotte has more potential with Brandon Miller. I think Brandon Miller is going to be a good player here in the NBA.
Yeah.
Anyways, though, I would compare Dalton Connect a lot to Jaquez that came out of UCLA and was
He's
really good
good.
for the Miami Heat.
Yeah,
He was
good.
also a mature player, and he could do it all in the college level. And I think Jaquez and Jaquez is like Dalton Connect, and Dalton Connect could prove himself this year again that he deserves to be in the NBA and that he's a good player. With the 7th pick, the Portland Trail Blazers will be selecting. I was going to choose Connect there, but you took him. So I'm probably going to have to take Cody Williams. Cody Williams, he is played out of Colorado. He is a 6'7", like small forward / he's a wing. He's a 6'7" wing. And if you don't know who Jalen Williams is, Jalen Williams is Cody Williams' brother. So Jalen Williams is really good. Like, no one expected Jalen Williams to be as good as he is out of Santa Clara, but he is so good.
OKC good.
OKC has him. Yep, OKC is good, but Jalen Williams is a big reason that OKC is good. So people are expecting Cody Williams to be like Jalen Williams, and I watched him, and I just don't think he has the same energy that his brother has. Like, he's good. He has a better, you could argue that he's a better body than his brother, but his brother, it feels like his brother just has more skill. I could be wrong, but Cody Williams is also still a good prospect, and it's worth definitely a try. If you can get someone like Jalen Williams, you definitely want to choose that person. And the Portland Trail Blazers, I think this is a good spot to take Cody Williams. Cody Williams is one of the best prospects in the NBA draft, in my opinion, in this draft. He really can do it all. He can score. He can drive. He can do it all. He's just going to be a pretty good asset to have. And if you can get anyone again like Jalen Williams, that is what you're hoping. And if you can get that, you're going to be very happy if you're the Portland Trail Blazers. So with the 8th pick, the San Antonio Spurs are selecting.
The San Antonio Spurs are selecting, and this is going to be really hard for me, Charlie, because Cody Williams and Saloom, who I'm going to take now, need to drop to the Jazz at 10. So this is painful.
The sad thing is, though, I know we both want that.
Painful.
They're too good. They're too good prospects.
So I am so sorry to say they're both going to be gone. I'm taking Saloom. He is from France too, right?
Yeah, I don't know what they're feeding those guys over there.
He's like 18. Charlie and I saw him. This guy is like
6'9",
and he is big, and he is built.
I'll tell you what,
he can move, and I'm like, he's raw. He is raw, but I'm telling you, that guy could be a baller.
I'll tell
And
you
if
what.
he loves basketball, right? There's a big difference between being tall and being a basketball player. We've talked about this many times. And loving basketball. If you love basketball and you're tall, oh my gosh. If he loves basketball, he could be really, really good.
No, for sure. He's definitely got the body. He's got everything you want out of a prospect. A lot of people are comparing him to Giannis. He's definitely got some stuff he's got to learn, but Giannis did too. If he can live up to be like Giannis, then that's going to be a great asset to have. And the Spurs are definitely going to be looking at TJ Salone because he's from France and Wembyama is buddies with them. So Wembyama is going to probably make sure that happens. He wants to play with his buddy Salone. I'll tell you what. This year, USA is going to struggle against France in the Olympics, but the next time they come around, France is going to be pretty dang good with all these prospects coming in. The NBA, they're getting good. I don't know, like again, like they're feeding something to those people over there. It's crazy. Okay, with the ninth pick, the Memphis Grizzlies will be selecting. With this pick, I'm gonna have to think about this one a little bit. A lot of the people that we've taken fit them, and there's a lot of point guards left right now. So, the player that I feel like the Grizzlies would choose in this situation as our draft went down is Ron Holland. Ron Holland played with Buzelis with the G League Ignite. Ron Holland was supposed to be the second pick, maybe the first pick in the draft this year. He did not live up to the hype. At least the results didn't show. He still is a great prospect. Definitely has star potential if it comes down to it. But he also does not have star potential. He's definitely a hit or miss prospect, and it's a scary pick. But the Grizzlies definitely want someone that is a go getter, and that's what Ron Holland is. He's a good defender. He is definitely going to give you 100%, 24/7. So if I'm the Grizzlies and this is how the draft comes down to, then I'm choosing Ron Holland with the ninth pick here, which kind of sucks because I kind of wanted Ron Holland for the Jazz in this situation, but you made it hard on me with the people you're choosing, Dad. But it's okay. So you can choose the 10th pick for the Utah Jazz.
For the 10th pick with the Utah Jazz, with Cody Williams being gone, with Saloon being gone, with us not going up to get Castle, if those three things are the case, I'm not kidding, I'm trading down. I'm trading down, I'm trading down because I can get the same guy basically at 15, 16 as I can at 10. I'll pick a guy here, but I'm trading down if this is the case, Charlie. I'm trading down. With the 10th pick for the Utah Jazz, I'm picking Topic. He's a guard. He was way thought highly of. He tore his ACL. He's a great ball distributor. He great dribbler, great driver to the basket. He's gonna have to work on his outside shot, which is a little scary for a point guard. But he was thought to be in the top three when the season started. Picking him means he's sitting out a year. But given the case, given our scenario, I'm going him or Devin Carter, and I just think I'm going Topic. I just think that overall he's a better player, so I'm going Topic.
Yeah, that's a hard situation to be in if you're the Jazz, if that's the way it falls. But Topic, before he was injured, was probably going to go in the top five. But
Yeah.
people are more scared to take him now because he's been injured before. So he's very injury prone, and that's scary. But if you were the Jazz and you choose him and tank for next year and somehow pull out Cooper Flag, that is hands down okay with me.
Yeah.
Um, let's just go to here, and we'll talk about other prospects that the Jazz would draft later down because you said trade down, right? And I agree with you. I don't know if though if I would trade down if Devin Carter was still there. I think, or yeah, if Devin Carter was still there. I think Devin Carter is going to be a good player in the NBA. He is being compared to Derek White. Derek,
Derek White's really good.
exactly, and he's being compared to him. So if that's his ceiling, and that's not a bad ceiling to have, I
That's
think Devin
good.
Carter would be a pretty good point guard for the Jazz, and I think he would fit well with Keontae. I think Keontae, honestly, I know people are saying that he had a good year and he's a point guard. I think Keontae would play better as a shooting guard. And if they can get Carter here and put Keontae next to him, I think we have a pretty good situation in our hands with the Jazz. Again, with Topic, if Topic ends up to be really good out of injury, that's also a good player to put with Keontae. If I'm the Jazz here and this is what happens, you got to choose three players: Topic, Carter, or McCain from Duke. Jared McCain, I don't know why he's not higher on people's boards. I think he's way good. He's definitely got like the highest IQ in the draft. He just got better as the year went on, and he works out with like Stephen Curry. The dude won like 4 state championships in California, like one of the best high school basketball states. The dude is a winner, and he would be an amazing point guard for the Jazz to have. And I would very consider drafting Jared McCain, especially if you have to trade down. That's who I'm drafting is Jared McCain. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm like I said. Given our draft scenario, I'm trading down. I'm now at 15 or 16. I'm very happy with Jared McCain. I'm very happy with Carlton Bub Carrington from Pittsburgh. I'm taking one of those two guys at 15, 16. I'm pretty much getting the same guy as I'm getting with Topic or Carter at 10. And I'm getting an asset and maybe another draft pick for 2025, 2026, or a player that's going to help my team. I'm telling you, I'm trading down in this scenario, Charlie.
So it's interesting we're talking about trading down because there have been reports recently that the Jazz are in discussion with trading the 29th pick, which we have, and this 32nd pick, which the Jazz have, for the 22nd pick, which the Suns have. So the Suns would be trading down, and we would still have 10 and get 22. If that's the case, then I wouldn't draft Carter or Topic at 10. I would, let's just say the draft did not go as it went. I would draft Holland or Saloon at 10. And then at 22, I would save that pick for the point guard. Because, like you said, that Carrington dude from Pittsburgh is going to
He's
be really
good,
good.
really good.
He's better than people are giving him credit for.
Yeah,
And
I
then
mean, he's as good as these point guards that are going early. Yeah,
another point guard that has high potential is Collier from USC. He didn't show it really at USC, but he's definitely got the body and the IQ to be a really good player in the NBA. So if you're the Jazz and you can do that with the Suns, I would do that 100%. You would get still a really good point guard in the draft and a really good wing, most likely, in the draft. That's just going to be a good draft for the Jazz if that's what happens.
yeah, for sure.
If the Jazz don't trade 29 and 32, which it's going to happen. There's no way they're going to keep both those picks. There's only really one player that stands out to me, and I think we both agree on this, is Baylor Shireman from
Oh
Creighton.
yeah, boom.
He reminds me of Joe Ingles, I'm not going to lie.
He's
And
good.
I love Joe Ingles. So bring on Baylor Shireman if we get him at 29 or 32.
Hey, let me throw two other names out, okay? Out of a hat, out of a hat. These guys, so cool. I'd take them maybe, even though they're not supposed to be this high. I mean, they're winner, chicken dinner. I'm taking Jamal Shad. Shad, remember the point guard from Houston?
Yeah, he is the Big 12 Player of the Year.
I mean, whatever if he's not tall enough. The guy is a
They
baller.
would have beat Duke if he didn't get hurt.
And he plays defense like no other. And I know he's short. Who cares, man? The guy is a winner. And
That's not a bad pick.
I'm like, oh, I don't understand. What about Tristan Newton from UConn?
Yeah,
I mean, I don't understand why he's not being talked about. Taking one of those two guys, winner, chicken dinner, man. Those guys know how to win, and they're going to help your team win. Houston,
It is
yeah,
interesting that Tristan Newton hasn't been talked about because he is the only player on that UConn team in the draft that won 2 championships in a row.
yeah,
And
he's
he was a
good.
really big reason for it. Like he's the one that ran the offense, and clearly UConn was good. So I, if you get Tristan Newton, you're probably going to get a good player later
And
on
he
in the
knows how to
NBA. So
win,
that's
and
not a
he's
bad
good.
pick at
I'm
all.
taking,
I like
yeah,
that one.
both. That Houston point guard is awesome too. Anyway, back to you, Charlie.
Yeah, I think you froze a little bit, but it's okay. No worries.
Sorry.
Do you want to say again what you said
Oh, I'm just
about
saying. I'm just
Tristan
saying.
Newton?
Tristan Newton and Shad from Houston. Tristan Newton from UConn. Shad from Houston. Those guys are winners. I'm taking them. If I'm the Jazz and I got the 32nd pick and I'm keeping it, why not?
Yeah, for sure. I agree with you. I think Tristan Newton is going to be a good player in the NBA. And that dude from Houston, he's going to be way good too. He's a go getter and he'll do whatever he needs to do to help you win
For sure.
for sure. All right, that is our recap of what we think is going to happen in the top 10 picks at least. Is there anything else you want to say about the draft, Dad, before we move on from that?
Go Jazz.
Go Jazz, baby. Hopefully things go our way and go the way we want to.
Castle. Trade up. Get Castle.
Expect a lot of trades in this draft. This draft's going to be crazy. There's not many people are, no one's really sure what's going to happen in the draft this year. It's just one of those years that stuff is going to go down. And it's because it's not a great draft. If I'm the Jazz, though, I am not trading my future draft picks.
No.
Do not trade future draft picks at all.
No. No.
Don't do that.
Absolutely no.
All right, that is going to finish our segment of the NBA draft. So we are going to move on to Spice, Dad. What is the spiciest thing that's happened to you recently?
So I have two spicy things real fast, both positive spice, both good spice. Charlie Walker, so proud of him, graduated from UVU down in Provo, um, hospitality management. He's ready to kill it, full time job. Anybody looking? Charlie's your man. But super proud of Charlie, and I'm a grandpa again. Yes, number 4, grandpa. Jesse, my oldest son, and his wife Lily, they had a baby last week. Wendy Walker. Let's go, Wendy Walker. Yes, yes, yes. so excited, so proud of both Jesse and Lily. Wonderful news. Could not be more happy about that. Charlie Walker, go.
Yeah, we're pumped to definitely have to you another granddaughter, to me another niece in the family, and we're super excited for Jesse. He's usually a partner with us, but clearly he could not be with us today because he's
He's
got
got
things.
daddy duties.
He's got daddy duties he's dealing with, being a father and everything. We're super excited for him. It's been a while since we've done a podcast, and a lot of things have happened in my life. Really good things. The spicy thing that's happened to me since we dropped the podcast, other last episode, is Charlie Walker has a girlfriend now, and he's super excited about it. Shout out to Angie. I love you. Shout out to you. I'm wearing a shirt she gave me for my birthday. She's amazing. We had our 4-month anniversary yesterday, which is really cool. So we're excited for the future, and things are going well there.
Angie's awesome.
Yeah,
Chrissy and I think she's pretty cool too, Charlie.
yeah, we love her. All right. Well, thank you for listening. We're excited to keep getting these podcasts out there. We're a little rusty. Hopefully, everyone liked it, but we will get better every week. Don't worry. And we will talk about who the Jazz pick. We'll talk about the recap next week, and we're excited to talk about that. But
Go
go
Jazz.
Jazz. We're excited for the Jazz. It's been a hard couple of years for the Jazz in this rebuilding phase, but in the end, the goal is a championship. And to get a championship here in Utah, that's what you have to do, is go through the draft. And who knows, maybe this draft is going to be a lot better than people say. You never know. All right. Stay spicy, everyone. And go Jazz and go Cougs.